Browning, All-American cornerback, Chinny Checkwell. The show is brought to you by FanDuel. Chim, man, we're in the slumper. We went out to Texas to the Cotton Bowl, and we got defeated by Miami Hurricanes 24-14. Right now, we can't play. It's look like we can't win the game on New Year's Eve, man. We take the L to the Hurricanes. How you doing, man? I know it was a late night. You only got to tell me. What your shirt say? I'm rising. You rose at probably about 12 noon. I know it was a late night, man. What's up, Chum?
Yeah.
What's happening?
Yeah, man, it was definitely a late night. It's a tough one, man. You go on New Year's Eve, and it's kind of how it felt when we played Georgia a couple years back. New Year's Eve, you're excited, big game. You don't get the results you want, then you got to take it, go into the new year and do the toast and all that stuff, man. It just doesn't feel like a very toast-worthy occasion for real. But yeah, man, I really want to start off because it's documented my perspective pregame, right, on Twitter, on Instagram, and others, that I felt like Ohio State's team, just assuming that both teams executed how they execute, and play well, that Ohio State was the 10 points better. That's how I felt. Yeah, it wasn't accurate, right? So yeah, hats off to Miami and being able to do what they do best. I mean, I thought they were who they were all game. Went out there and and really just took over the game from the start. But how you doing, man? How you feeling?
Man, I mean, obviously it was a rough one, man. I mean, it was a game where, obviously I'm always confident in Ohio State. I think if we could play that game 10 times, I'm not gonna say we are gonna win nine, because we always lost one. Let's say we'll win 8-7 though. Like I feel like we're definitely overall a better team than Miami Hurricanes, but we wasn't better last night, and that's what it matters the most. Miami did a great job at coming out. And even before the game, you know how they interviewed the coaches before the game. Cristobal was talking about, we're going to be physical. We're going to be tough. We're going to be like,
Yeah.
tenacious and all that kind of stuff. And, man, they showed it. It took Ohio State I don't know if we ever really matched it. But we eventually got in some type of fighting range. But when it came down to it, Miami's intensity and the way they went about attacking us and wanting every inch and fighting for every yard and fighting and scrapping for every ball, it showed. That's how the first half went, right? We just
Yeah.
and it started in the trenches, right? I'm off the line. It started in the trenches. I said, like, hey, we got to run the ball against these guys. We don't want to get these pass rushers going. They got two big league guys, and those big league guys ate us up the entire game, right? And, in some spurts, yeah, we were able to score some points once we kind of got some running going. But for the most part, we couldn't really keep up with Bain. I mean, if it's an MVP for the game, it definitely goes to Ruben Bain for the work that he did. And also, I'm sorry, number 3, what was it, basketball? I already said his name. Yeah, Mesidor.
Yeah.
He did some work as well. And
Yeah.
in the D line, I think was number 99. He did this, and with this came in drones that Miami defense was known to be good, and they came out and it was very serious, and they just beat us to the spot almost every time, especially in the first half. And we got behind, and if it was a recipe for Miami to win, is to do that, get a lead and make Ohio State try to catch up, and we just was not able to do it. Not able to do it.
Yeah, they
We're
set the
wrong.
tone up front.
Yeah.
I'd have a different MVP, and I think the MVP goes to number 0, Keontae Scott, the nickel corner. And the reason why I say it is the thing is, Ohio State. I mean, Miami's defensive line was physical. Hey, they did what they did, right? And I think it put Ohio State's offense on the heels. But you kind of know who the players are, and it's documented what these guys do, right?
Mhm.
The D linemen have been great all year. Like, it was no mystery that they were going to make some plays, that they were going to get some sacks, that they were going to be physical, they were going to get some TFL. That's what they do. Win, lose, or draw, they do that in every single game.
Yeah.
I thought Keontae Scott, even in their first playoff game and in this game, he was kind of the guy that was going to be someone who can do something that blows the game wide open. And I was a little nervous about him. And my assumption is that Ohio State's offense identifies that, and they're gonna do what they have to do to make sure they take him out of the game. But it's a little different when it's a nickel corner, right? He's coming on blitzes, he's dropping the cover. You really don't game plan too much for that guy. You just want to make sure you execute and don't give him an opportunity to make a play. When they drove down the field and they put themselves in the red zone position to tie the game, there was a missed opportunity. I think maybe just a play before. I think it was Max Clay who came open in the end zone. Julian Saint couldn't see him. I know he felt the pressure, made it tough to identify him, see him right there in the middle of the field where that ball should go. And then you come back and you throw that little bubble screen to the outside. And the impact player, we know they got the impact with D-line. We know they can do it front. We know they've been dominating so far this game. But the impact player, that nickel corner, is lined up on the point, ready to do some. He's ready to do some damage, right? That's why he's lined up on the point. They ain't like a zone cover. They're not even a man cover. He's lined up there because he's trying to beat us to the punch, and nobody hits him. You know they're running the play, they're executing the play, but just not to the same level of intensity. It's not even about there's scheme and there's these other things, but when you talk about matching the intensity, obviously a lot of that happens up front, but on the edges, it's just about being locked in, focused, and attacking, and
Yeah.
also knowing who the guy to attack is. Like that guy's lined up here, we're on the bubble screen. He could blow this play up. We got to hit him. We got to make him feel us. And on the flip side, he's thinking the opposite, and they turn what was a bad play into a game changing play, a back
Yeah.
breaking play. Right? You go from potentially scoring 7 points and tying the game to giving up 7 points. That's a 14-point swing. At the minimum, it's a 10-point swing because you assume we can make a field goal. It could have been
assuming, yeah,
assuming,
yeah,
right, which
assuming,
is not the same
assuming,
assumption.
yeah,
But it was that, man. The offense played on their heels from the offensive line, I think, to the quarterback, um, feeling the pressure, feeling the rush, and even on the edges, blocking on the edges. I mean, that's where football starts. You match the intensity there, then we could start talking about scheme, who has the advantage in the past, and all the other stuff. And they never got up. It took them a long time to get over that first initial hump of the
yeah.
intensity.
Yeah. And like you said, it was a great play. I know a lot of times, you look at it, you're like, well, who fault is it? Is it Julian Sand fault? Like, you got to see you throw the bubble, you expect somebody to kind of get that guy. Is it Jeremiah Smith fault? Because, like you say, he didn't really buck up with the guy before he get there. But if you watch Ohio State all season, we block it. That's how we block that play.
Same way.
Jeremiah Smith tried to get the
Same way.
outside edge right away, and we out leverage him. Keontae Scott wasn't going for it last
Right.
night. He made a great read. He understood the situation, and he took off. And then he made the play, right? And it's not even simple to catch that ball. He snatched it and he took it to the house. You got to take your hats off to it. Could some things been done differently for this not to happen? Yes. But it started weeks ago, months ago, throughout the season,
Exactly.
how we approached that play. And I'm telling you, I
Exactly.
know that's how we approached it all season. Jeremiah Smith tried to get that outside edge so we could kind of create that lane right away. A guy hits us. Now, what goes on in the receiving room? Like, have Hart linemen saying, hey, be careful. But, I don't know. But I just know one thing for sure. It never changed. He always took that approach to that, making that, to that approach and not block when he's the point on the bubble. And we got burnt, man. We got burnt.
But that's the key. That's the key, though, is that in these games, you got impact players that make impactful plays, right?
Yeah.
On the Ohio State side, you got a lot of them. Caleb Downs is going to come up. He's going to fill a hole. He's going to make a play at the line. Everybody knows it. Miami knows it. They know he's going to get some. He caused some forced fumbles in the game, right? Luckily for Miami, it didn't happen, right? Jeremiah Smith, he's going to get some deep passes. Miami knows that that's going to happen. We're not going to be able to stop it every time. In your process, you got to identify who's the impact players for Miami. And what I thought the difference was is all of their impact players were impactful. All of them guys, right? The defensive ends and the linemen that we said, are big time players, they made big time plays. Keontae Scott is a guy that, I understand you block it that way all the time. And in preparation for Miami, you gotta understand your personnel. Like this guy, he could blow something up. Not everybody can. That's just the reality of it. Like not everybody is gonna be able to come off that, pick the ball off, and take it. But if I was gonna identify somebody on Miami's defense that could, it was gonna
It's
be
him.
him.
Yeah.
And And when that guy lines up, we gotta say, hey, we gotta be ready and say that's the impact player. Let me just go hit him first. Let me go hit him, and then we take it from there. But yeah,
Yeah,
it
man.
starts months ago. It's not just that play in that game. It starts prior to that.
Yeah, right, right. And I one thing I want to shout while we're patting Miami on the back for what they did. I mean, you got to shout out their safeties, man. Jacoby Thomas. I
Was hitting.
mean, man, hitting, man. It's like it was several run opportunities. I'm thinking, okay, Bo's gonna break this for at least 20. Boom, 7-yard gain. Because they did not miss. They came downhill. They did not miss, and it was physical. And whenever we did get a gap, we got what we got off the gap because they was erasing it from that standpoint. I mean, this kind of hats off to them. I mean, there's nothing else to say. But man, they was locked in. They was geared. I think what Jeremiah Smith beat him over the top once, right? Got caught in some coverage stuff, beat him over the top. But those safeties was just lights out all day and erasing anything that Ohio State was even thinking when it came to a possible big play in there and things from there. But I don't know, man. We got to talk about, I guess, two more big things that I know Buckeye Nation is going to want to hear about is play calling and my guys on the offensive line. I mean, I've been hyping up my offensive line unit since camp, right? And the number of guys, I said, man, we just got so many good guys I feel like could go out there and execute. Obviously, we went into this game, and Tegra, who started right guard basically all season, wasn't they basically put out a report he wasn't going to play. Now we're seeing some reports like, is he injured or what's going on with that situation? But they ended up starting Van Sickle at right guard, and he got welcomed and they welcomed him to college football at the highest level. I mean, early. So, and I guess I got to speak about it because it's not just like he went out there and was just I don't know. I'm not gonna say it was over his head or anything of that nature, but let me just kind of go to this standpoint. Like, when you get in a game like this and you got two NFL pass rushers, and so you take those guys that's usually on the edge, usually getting taken by tackles and pass situations, and you put them inside. A lot of times you're just not used to that quickness, to that speed. You're used to bigger guys that's going to maybe try to run you over before they try to move. You get a small guy in there who's just slapping hands and going. A lot of times they catch you off guard, and they caught our guys off guard early, both our guards. And when it came to Van Sickle, when it came to Hill, we missed. They made plays against us because of that. And then obviously Van Sickle got caught some other things. I don't know if he got injured, but they ended up in Padilla in at the right guard spot. Same thing for Sherfield, our captain. So I'm assuming he got injured because he wasn't playing. He wasn't playing great, but he wasn't playing horrible by any means. But Ian Moore ended up coming in the game, and Ian steps in. And Ian played really well once he went out there. But we just got beat up front, man. Phillip Daniels, he's been playing fantastic at right tackle all season. And all of a sudden, he got banged on him. He got all these one-on-one situations, and he just can't, stand up like he usually stands up. Overall, I don't know. It was a lot for those guys to learn. I mean, they have to be able to kind of step up and meet that intensity. I blame some of it on coaching. Some of the things that looked like the guys just wasn't really prepared for. Like I say, DNs coming inside with speed. Some of the games we got beat with our offensive line getting picked and not setting with depth and not really kind of having the vision, the perceived vision that it takes to kind of pick us on those games and things of that nature. So I got to say, the coach, good magic could get these guys a little bit more prepared for it. But when it comes down to it, you have to meet that intensity up front early in the game so people can get settled, things can kind of get going, and then you kind of play it from there. What about the play calling? Because I got a little bit gripe about the play calling, but what is your thoughts on Ryan Day taking over the offense and the play calling and the plan for basically the plan to attack this good defense that we know that was good coming into this game and the things that they was good at and what they could do?
Yeah, it felt like whether it was Day, Hardline, it felt like the same offense all season, honestly, in terms of the types of plays, the type of structure. I anticipated that this season at some point they were going to turn the tempo up a little bit in spurts, like not the whole game, but you take a quarter or you take a couple series where you say, okay, we get this first down, we're going fast, and we're going to put the defense on their heels. I thought the biggest thing in that first half of the offense, which felt like they were always on their heels, even when they made a big play. I was like, oh man, we got to play another play, and I don't know if we're ready to play this next play. And it seemed like I think because I've been thinking about it a little bit, and that I wanted more up tempo, I wanted more hurry up, I wanted them to be more of an attacking offense, and to really put that defense on the heels, get those D linemen tired. But it does feel like they just never were. They didn't trust this offense and make maybe this young quarterback to be able to handle that consistent. Right?
Yeah,
At the end of the day, because they had said it in the post game that we really just wanted to. We've been focusing on efficiency all year, and he even said in this game we weren't able to get some first downs. It didn't give us the opportunity to do some of that hurry up stuff, and we wanted to just make sure we got in the right play, which to me means we want everybody lined up. We want to make sure everything is communicated. We want to make sure we're seeing what we need to see, and we just execute the play. We're focusing on execution over trying to speed things up and go fast, which that was initially my biggest gripe. But I also feel like if you didn't do it all year and you never felt confident enough to really do it consistently, then I shouldn't expect. Right? I shouldn't. I shouldn't expect it. And to me, if that's not the case, so if they weren't going to be the team that put the foot on the gas pedal and did that up tempo offense, then now I got to do this team different, right? And when I view them differently, my biggest gripe offensively is not having a better plan for the rush. Not having a better plan for the rush. Not having a better plan to get the ball out quick, get some momentum, get some first downs by allowing the saying to get the ball out much quicker, get the ball in the hands of some of those playmakers who can run, do some different things there, and then that gives you an opportunity to get into the game and get some confidence, get some momentum, and rise to that intensity versus going out there. I like the deep shots. I like the Max Pro trying to get the ball down the field, but going into the game against these guys and having those long developing pass plays early, you know, when you have this fierce pass rush, may not be the best approach. So I thought there could have been an adjustment of trying to speed things up, but if you weren't going to speed things up, quicker passes, simple reads to get some momentum on offense initially in the first half.
yeah. I would say that my gripe is a tad bit different. For what? So usually, right, when we was excited to hear that Coach Dave was going to be calling plays and the playoff, because we said like, oh, he got all this time to figure out his opponent. He's going to have a
Yeah,
very explosive offense. Like we haven't usually in these situations. He scored a lot of points, 30, 40 points, and maybe then we hope our defense can kind of keep up and match that, and we win the game. We didn't get that this time, right? So for one, now obviously he didn't have, this is a playoffs. He don't know if he's going to play Texas A&M or Miami, going into this game. I mean, obviously Texas was the home game, so maybe if you're leaning towards them probably winning that game. I don't know how you approach it, but I imagine you start getting ready for both in some form of fashion. Through your preparation, gearing up before that actual week you get ready to play. I say they should run the ball, right? I say like, hey, you guys can really rush the passer. We're used to having, throughout the season, we maybe had one guy this elite that we had to block. We never really had two.
yeah,
They already played a game, right? So they already kind of in the rhythm of playing playoff ball. You were not. And you go out here and I'm looking at stat. We ran the ball essentially 18 times for the day. Now you can say, well, Brian, we was down. We was down by what? 14 points. It's not like we're down by 21 and we got to air. We're down by 14 points. Tom Brady's down by 14 points. He's down by 20 some points in the Super Bowl. You just keep running offense, right? And you just kind of
yeah,
keep
yeah,
executing and get yourself back in the game. So we come out here, and it is almost the gripe that we used to have with Coach Day, let's say about 2 seasons ago when Kyle McCord was the quarterback and Coach Day still was considered the offense. It's almost like he will run the ball if it's an explosive. Like I'll run the ball here if we get it 9-10 yards. I keep kind of going with this here. But if I'm not getting that on my base runs, I'm gonna try to trick run. I'm gonna try to throw it around the edge or something like that. Get tricky, try to out scheme the run, and then that don't work. Well, I'm just gonna go back to pass. So what that leads to now, the ball is just stuck in Julian Sands' hand. We throw the ball essentially 40 times, and we only have 18 true rushes, 11 carries for Bo, 7 carries for CJ, and we try that one end around to Jeremiah Smith. And you look at the numbers, Bo averaged 5 yards a carry. I told you before the game, every running back averaged 5 yards a carry, you're probably going to have a pretty good game, right? You say, like, yeah, more likely so, but he only got 11 touches. CJ Donaldson, I don't think he averaged 4 yards a carry all season. But he did, against Miami, but he only had 7 carries. We didn't really approach the run, to me, correctly until the third quarter when we were already down 2 scores. And, we was close, right? If our defense could have got us one opportunity to get the ball and actually take the lead in the game, maybe everything shakes out different. Maybe we actually get that lead, then we get a stop and we go up by a couple scores. And we never got to that point. So to me, it's just like you took too long to do this. You put our guys in situations that was beneficial to Miami, passing the ball, getting their rushers going, letting them kind of tee off on our offensive line. And to me, whenever you're playing a game like that, man, gap scheme. Let's get some double teams going. Let's pull some guys. Let's really, get physical going north and south, getting our pass square and coming at these guys. Let's do that for 2-3 plays at a time and make them really feel it. To kind of slow down the pass rush. The pass rush is killing us. What was the screens at, right? What was the running back screens at in this game? Something like that. What was going on 2? Like, sometimes let's go up here and just go hard count and go on 2 and try to get something offline to kind of slow down. We never really got there. And so now we're playing catch up, and now, things are happening. And in the second half, we just didn't have enough time to kind of do all these things. But to me, if you start the game off that way, you negate some of that stuff. You negate some of that Miami running around, high-fiving, fist bumps, all that things, them feeling really good about themselves by just being physical and coming out and hitting them a little bit, because we know they're going to hit us when we're passing the ball. We know that they're going to hit our quarterback when we're passing the ball. Let's hit them too. Hit them early.
Yeah, they did in the second half. I do think they had a plan to go hurry up in the first, and the first 2 drives, I think maybe have been 3 and outs, which kind of neutralized the plan. I think in the second half they did take that approach and said, "Look, let's go run the ball." And now we got and see, you got to have a jab, man. That's the thing. Like when they went in the second half, you saw that they focused on running the ball downhill. Now we have play action that we can work. We could keep guys in the block, and we have the RPO pass game. And now everything's connected. We run the ball for 5 yards. We do RPO. They come up on run. We got our receiving wide open. So now they had a foundation that was set, and now everything opens up. In the first half, I think the plan was, get a couple first downs, hurry up, speed things up, and let's march down the field. And they just couldn't get they couldn't get past. They couldn't get the first down, but they needed to do one or the other. They needed to either go tempo, or they needed to establish the run and be able to play off of that. And I just thought the opportunities were there. Like, if you watch the game, you go back and watch it, passes are open. It's the same thing when Miami playing Texas A&M. This is what I was saying going in. It's like Marcel Reed just missed throws, missed opportunities in this game. I don't want to put it all on Sand. I think between Sand and the pressure, like the plays are there. You got guys running free. You got guys open. Whenever Miami tried to protect and go too deep, there was schemed up plays where you got a guy down the middle open, tight end down the middle. He had Carnell Tate down the middle at one point. But Saint's eyes could never get to it. Like, even when the pressure wasn't there and he could have stepped up, he was still looking at the rush. And there were certain instances where he could have just stepped up and ran for 5 yards. He could have stepped up and took 6 yards. But that's one of those things that you have to go into the game plan. You got to go into the game planning to do. Right? On the flip side, on defense, I thought the defensive play calling, they were gonna hold Miami to a low amount of points, not a high amount of points, but it wasn't a very attacking defense. Like, they didn't go on defense and try to go make a play.
Yeah.
They just tried not to give up that many points. And it was the same approach last year during the playoffs, and it was okay because the offense was going crazy. But at what point in the game do you just say, look, offense is struggling, defense, we got to go make a play? let's go get some pressure on. I mean, this is a quarterback that's documented being a great quarterback with no pressure, being able to ID and see what he has in front of him. But when he gets pressure, that's when he struggles. And they never moved him off his
Yeah.
platform. Really, he always had an opportunity if the time wasn't there to just step up and go grab 4 or 5 yards. He is a veteran guy. He is a 6 year senior. Like if you don't force him into a mistake, he's not making a mistake. And I thought defensively, while they didn't play bad defense, they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything great. Right? They
Yeah.
didn't get any pressure. They didn't do anything. Didn't create any plays. And on the flip side, Miami, especially in that first half, they came out there attacking. There was some stuff open, but at the end of the day, it's like we're gonna run and hit, and they got to go make a play. So I thought that was the difference in the game, and that intensity. We talk about the layoff. I don't know how much that layoff affects the coaches, right? Like I know it
Yeah.
affects I know it can affect, I know it affects the players, and it's hard to manage. But in terms of just getting the coaches ready to just be like, we're just gonna do it. We're gonna do what we do. We're gonna attack. We're gonna make quick adjustments and just go try to win the game. It seemed like their staff was ready, locked in, and they had their plan. They stuck to it,
Yeah.
and
No.
we weren't. you know.
Yeah. No. I mean, when it came down to it, it's like um, I don't know. Like you say, defensively, it's just like we just wasn't timely enough, right? Third down, we were feeling good. We get a tackle for loss. We got them third and long, and then we come out and like it looked like a soft cover three, and it's like almost hey Beck, if you could complete an out route right here, you get a first down. Oh, I'll take it, and then he get the first down,
Yeah,
and and it was just a lot of that, and like you say, I don't know when we did see Beck struggle, he usually struggled when it's a lot of pressure. Um, so you're blitzing, so you pressure there, but it's also pressure on those wide receivers, right? We're on this wide receiver.
yeah,
You got this window. You got to force it in here. And I mean, he hit a couple, but I just feel like he should have been in that situation a lot more often. And then in doing so, that's how you go and you win the game. So obviously, but Beck played well, right? Overall, Beck
he
played
did.
well. He took what the defense
Yeah,
gave him. He made some timely runs. I hope. My hope is that Julian Sand is paying attention to that. Hey, in the playoffs, it's not all what the coach called and we're gonna execute. And sometimes, hey man, my offensive line can't keep up. I might need to become a threat with my feet. Hey, this pass is not here. I don't see it. Let me take off as soon as possible. As soon as I don't see it, I don't understand where it's at. I take off and I get where I can and live for the next down instead of going backwards and taking sacks because you're not that scramble guy. You're not
right.
about to make a bunch of guys miss and then execute it. That's not you. So once you hit your back foot, I looked here, man, the coverage changed. I don't even know I'm going. Like I'm going now, getting what I can out this play compared to thinking about it and figuring out, and then you take the sack because
That's the difference in
you
the game. The
yeah,
difference in the game is players making plays at the end of the
mm-hmm,
day. Right?
yeah,
We can look at that game and say, one team was more physical, etc. But there's key moments where if Julian Saint takes off and runs for 6 yards, it avoids a negative play. It keeps us in a position to still come up with a play to go get a first down, and we continue to move forward, right? And it was maybe 4 or 5 times where if that was the case, the entire game flips. Like the entire game changes. But continue, if you play timid and you play on your heels, you end up in this type of situation. So I think that's definitely going to be a learning experience for a young quarterback who will be back next year with all the opportunity to be back in the same position. But man, it just
he
seemed
got
like this roster was just so, so talented
yeah.
to be able to come up short this early in the
Yeah,
playoffs.
yeah. Defensively, you would say that the roster was. I mean, it was just very special, right? I mean, I feel like next
Yeah,
year, offensively, we'd probably be better. We'd have more experience. Our offensive line, we're not losing a ton of guys, so we have more experience there. We have more experience in our backfield. Bo Jackson could maybe get a little bit thicker, get a little bit more ready for some of the shots that it's going to take to be, RB1. It's funny, like James People I don't know if he's getting the Porter. I know we will know, but James People is back. Now he's in year 3. Maybe he is a better runner. We got other guys. We got Isaiah West. We got, also we'll lose Carnell Tate most likely to the NFL, but Jeremiah Smith is back. Most likely Brandon Ennis is back. We got boo-hoo wide receiver. Someone else should be able to kind of step in that spot and make themselves a household name. But defensively, like you say, we just lose a lot of special guys. Most likely, obviously, we losing Caleb Dow, Sonny Styles. They're seniors, they're leaving. But, we most likely would lose McDonald. We most likely would lose Arville Reese. I don't even know the DB situations with Matthews and Davidson. Davidson's a senior.
Matthew probably ends up coming back. Davidson is a senior, so we lose him. Lorenzo Styles will be gone.
Yeah,
so we have to replace the nickel corner as well. So I mean, it's gonna be some guys in the portal. So it's gonna be, a kind of a rework defense. I still expect the defense to be pretty good next year. But man, this was a championship level defense.
Yeah, that's for sure. And on top of it, it's obviously you don't know, but it's a chance that we lose Matt Patricia as well, as he probably, I know he'll be getting some opportunities, back in the NFL or head job somewhere. So but we'll have to, that's the thing though. That's why you got to take advantage of these opportunities because, obviously we'll do a show. We're gonna speak about this a little bit more, but. Obviously, this is a team that was essentially never won all year. You beat Michigan, which is something that you definitely need to do. You check that box, but you're not Big Ten champions. You're not national champions. So now it's just like a little bit like, how would this team be remembered for us this year? Obviously, we know in the history of the guys, they are national champions. The guys on the roster are national champions, but they're not for this season, right? They're not for this team.
Yeah.
So, sucks. Right, a little bit. That's the one thing that kind of like, obviously you want to win, but you can't win them all. But that's the one thing that kind of comes back and kind of brings to like, damn, like how are we gonna remember this 25 team? If they don't necessarily get any accolade, they don't really get any, their name put on the banner around the facility, things of that nature. But I don't know. But before we go, man, we just can't let this guy slide as we talk about everything. And we got to wrap up. We're not going to be too hard on the guy. But our field goal kicker, man, he's a senior. Most likely have a new field goal kicker next year.
Yeah.
Jaden Fielding goes out. It was a long kick. I think it was a 49-yard kick. But it's just funny to the fact that it's almost like no one believes he's going to make a kick in a crucial moment. And he just goes out and sticks to it.
And it's almost baffling that at Ohio State, you can send a kicker out and nobody really believes that he'll make the kick. Imagine that. Like it just seems like a crazy thing. And then if you look at his percentages over the year, I mean, I don't know. I think it's maybe 16 or 20, 16, 20.
It's like 80. I'm looking at it now. So he went 80%, 76% last season. He's at 80% this year. So you'll say not bad, but we all know.
But when the rubber meets the road and it's a game, we gotta have it in a big game. The confidence that he could get it done is. I remember. I mean, last night when he came out there, I almost turned the TV off. I didn't want to watch this.
Yeah. I was just hoping he'd like, man, this don't get it blocked.
And that's tough, and you really can't. It's just not a way to play football. Not at this level. It's just too high a level to play football with the expectation that maybe we don't need the kicker to win the game. Like that's kind of a crazy thing to even consider, right? These are big time games, and I hate to say, what if he makes the field goal? You hate to go back and say, what if, where you end up with. You got to have a kicker, and. You got to have not one, you got to have two. You have to have a kicker where, if it's not working for whatever reason, if you lose some trust or faith in whether they can get it done, whether they can or not, if you lose some trust in it, you got to go with the other guy. Yeah. Right? You got to go with the other guy. It saves both. It saves everybody, right? You keep the kid from getting too much continued hate on one side and on the other, and get an opportunity to continue to play football. So, yeah, it's tough, man. Because I feel for him, given that this is how he's kind of going to be remembered, right? It's a tough situation to be in. But man,
yeah,
it's hard to win football games
when you know.
without being able to. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just
you
hard
know,
to
like
do.
it's like you know, we get to this point, chances are we're gonna have to go for it because we just have no faith in the guy. And it's almost like then once he misses, you know, you guys go to and you know, Coach Day, the media manager, Coach Day, I think we know this for a fact that he got to go and answer like, why'd you even think he, why'd you even
Yeah,
trust
right.
him? You know, and it's and it has been at that point. Obviously, it was that point last night as well. And hopefully next year we do something. I know we got a guy on the roster I think has some experience. I don't know what's the situation there. If we got to go get somebody at the portal, if we need to recruit a kid out of high school, I don't know. Get somebody off the soccer team, I don't know. But we have to figure it out and be better, especially in these crucial situations. It's been essentially at least 2 seasons in a row, maybe 3 or 4 seasons in a row that us as Buckeye Nation have no faith that our kicker is making a big kick and really in the situation. So I don't know, man. I don't know. It is what it is, man. But I mean, obviously, we got some portal news already with Bryson Rogers in the portal, Jelani Thurman, Bryce West into the portal. So we go wide receiver, tight end, and corner, nickelback,
Yeah,
respectfully there. It hurts to see Bryce. Bryce, that's my tall brother, man. So it was hurt. You sent the
yeah,
message earlier, man. I didn't like to see that, but I guess you kind of get it, right? Man, for all those guys, all three of those guys, you kind of
yeah.
get it. In this world, you get it. Obviously, it's not what you want to see. You want your guys to be around for some death. You don't want to see it, but that's just the nature of it. I'm sure there's going to be more guys as well. I think Lincoln declared, Clean Host
They
declared
can,
that he's
yeah.
going to be in the
Thank you.
portal as well. So there's going to be more
I mean,
guys.
3 years, 4 years in, 3 years, 4 years in, guys got to start playing. They got to consider the portal. They obviously probably got some offers in terms of opportunity to start, et cetera. So
Yeah,
that's kind of when the decision has to be made. It hurts to see guys go. I hate to see a corner leave, especially a guy like Bryce West, who I think has really good potential.
yeah.
Um, but a guy with really good potential has really good
Mm-hmm.
potential. So other schools are going to want him as well. So it's kind of the nature of the beast.
Yeah, man. Those are Buckeyes, right? We'll follow them. We figure out where they land. We'll announce it and things of that nature. But you just hope. Well, obviously, Jelani was a guy came in with a lot of talent. He played some. He made some plays. But when it came down to it, last couple of seasons, he just was never really that top tier tight end guy. Bryson only played in spare time. Same thing with Bryce, right? Only kind of playing in kind of wash up time. So, best of luck to them, man. Things. But man, I don't know, man. Got college football on, playoffs. See, Oregon, they blew out Texas Tech. I know you would. I know you said you couldn't watch football until you got this off your chest, man. You can turn the TV back on, though.
I
Oregon
could
already
turn it
got the
turn it
win.
back on.
Yeah, they won, I don't know, 23-0, 24-0, something like that. Texas
Yeah.
Tech didn't score any points.
No team, and I wasn't a big believer in this, but no team that has had the bye has won a game yet in this college football playoff. Correct? No team.
In any
Going
playoffs.
dating back to
Yeah,
last year.
last year.
Going back to
Yeah,
last year, it makes it 0 and
that's
6.
that's
Um,
kind of concerning.
so-
If Indiana, if Alabama beats Indiana, I'm not cheering for. I'm not pulling for Alabama. Just
right.
throwing that out there. But if they do win, it's a little concerning.
Yeah, it's gonna the data is louder than everything else, man. So far the data's saying that it's not a full advantage. It's somewhat of an advantage, especially in that first half, I would say.
Yeah,
In
they
that
kind of
first half.
already have a game on
You
the.
watch the game.
I mean, but it makes sense. I know. I'm watching this Oregon game. The defensive struggle to the third quarter. And I think it was like 3-0 at halftime, 6-0. It was, very low scoring. And then Oregon might not have scored a touchdown to the fourth quarter if I'm thinking about this right. It was definitely late in the third. I mean, I don't know what to say about it, but it is, like you say, I don't know if it's something to be done. I know Dan Lanning is saying like, hey, we need to cut these gaps out. Let's just go ahead and and play the games right when the season ends. That would have been.
That makes sense.
I mean, in hindsight, it would definitely helpful to our Buckeyes this year for sure.
Yeah. It makes sense. Just keep playing, and a bye week is really a bye week. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you get 1 week off, not a month and a half or whatever. But I know excuses at the end of the day. You got Go out there and play football. You got to get it done. You got to get it
Yeah,
done.
you got there and get it done, man. But it's something to, I guess it's something to think about.
What we
Obviously, our
talking about?
Buckeyes lost. We played last week, last season playoffs, and Oregon was not ready for our intensity in the Rose Bowl, and we ran right through them. So it's something. It might be something, man, but I don't. A lot of this stuff is funny. Like, we make these changes in college football, but it's like contracts on top of these changes. So, like, even when we try to change something, it's like a lot more to it. So you change something because for whatever reason you thought it probably make more money. You thought it make more money. This is just what the people are asking for, but everything doesn't get to fully align because you got these bowl game and these contracts, and they got timing of things. The way when things take place, you got the Rose Bowl parade that's gonna happen on January 1st, right? We need the game to be at that time. All that kind of stuff. Yeah, I don't know, man, but it's definitely something to think about and / look at. So, all right, man. So go watch football, man. Let's wrap this up. We get off this live. You tune in for the Indiana game. Who you pulling to take it? Like, do you want to we lost to Miami, but they're the champions? Are you in that standpoint, or do you want to still it to fall in the Big Ten or
Big Ten? I'm Big Ten. I want the Big Ten to bring it home. So at a minimum, we can walk out of this season and say the Big Ten was
we still the best conference. I hate you there, man. Same, man. But I told you Oregon was going to be a problem. Right now, they made Texas Tech. They beat them pretty, I hate to say easy, but they definitely ran away with it late and not giving up any points. That's my dog to take it. But definitely pulling for Indiana to figure this out this weekend.
I think Indiana's the best team, and I think Miami has the most. Mendoza tips the scale a little bit because
it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting. Yeah, definitely. More talented because Mendoza doesn't run a lot, but he could do like what Carson Beck did. He could definitely do that stuff as well.
He could do that.
Well, it'd be interesting to see. I don't see it often. The average age of the guys that are actually playing. How many play? Miami, all right, they got a lot of 23, 24-year-old guys out there. I'm sure Indiana has something similar. Texas Tech got a lot of transfer. I haven't seen anyone kind of put that together. Maybe it's out there, maybe it's not, but it'd be interesting to see just like the age of these teams. Because obviously Ohio State, we didn't have. I can't think of anyone that was like a fifth year.
No, we don't have a lot of fifth years, 6 years. I would say Texas Tech and Miami probably would have the most. I don't think Bama's kind of like Ohio State, where a lot of their guys they recruited, right? And they get transfers in, but these, the transfers are guys who are still young typically. But Miami got a team for them. They got, impact players. They got that number. Torrey, the linebacker, was coming out and hitting, ran over Bo.
He's a Big Ten guy.
He went to Rutgers for like 6 years.
Yeah.
So, that's a grown man.
Man.
Hey, Bo a freshman, man.
Yeah, Bo a freshman. Bo's a freshman, man.
A grown man, bro. He got a 401k and everything coming down there.
Nah, that's funny, man. But I mean, but it's funny, like, it at a certain point it matters, right? Like you say, especially when you're looking at the Carson Beck. 2-time national champion at Georgia. He wasn't started there, but he was around for 2 national champions. Played season, played. Did he play in the playoff game or did he get hurt? He might have missed that playoff game when he
missed the playoff. This is his first playoff game that he started in, I think.
Yeah. So, but I'm just I'm clicking through stat lines right now. But in our game, Miami's biggest receiver, most stats. He's from LIB. Played. This is year 6 for him. And CJ Daniels played at LIB, played at LSU, plays for Miami. Is in I don't know, man. Like you say, number 1, the second receiver, Keelan Marion, 2 years at UConn, 2 years at BYU, 5th year at Miami. Everybody has their approach, right? And their approach is their approach. I mean, Yeah, right. Because you got to, when it comes down to it, you got to get into the playoffs for these top tier teams.
Yeah.
But their leading tackle, Jacoby Thomas, MT, was at Middle Tennessee State for 2 years, Tennessee for a year. Then he comes to Miami in year 4.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just
Messidor is like a
interesting.
6-year senior as well. The DN, 5th year or 6th year guy.
Yeah.
And where it hurt where that hurt Miami was in the middle of the season. And they started off high. I mean, you got a bunch of veteran guys. We're gonna go out there. We're gonna do what we do. And then by the middle of the year, the challenge is just being together as a team and having to keep that team together and executing together. But once they got past that and still made the playoffs, now they can lock in and kind of just be who they are, which is a bunch of talented guys that came together for a year to go get it
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, Mesidor, year 6, 2 years at West Virginia. That he played. This is his 4th season at Miami. Yeah, man. I mean, it's just interesting. I mean, we're not gonna make no excuses for our team. I think we
Right.
were still the better team. Keontae Scott, 3 years at Auburn, transferred over. But it just is what it is, man. We got to be ready. Bang though, my MVP. He's a Miami guy. This is year 3.
He's a Miami guy.
Tony's
Bang's a
a
Miami
Miami
guy.
guy. Right.
Fletcher's a Miami guy. Tony
Yeah.
and the other safety, the DB. That's
That'd
right.
be well, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
So they got some guys for the future. They got some guys.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. But man, I mean, good for Miami though. I mean, I think there was the first team out last year in the playoffs, second team out. Something they was really close. And obviously this year, I think the committee did the right thing and get them in there, and they showed they belong.
So they belong.
Showing they belong. Now they off to the semifinals, and they'll take on the winner of Georgia Ole Miss. So yeah, man. Shout out to the Hurricanes, but still pulling for my Big Ten teams to nick
Get
this
it
one.
done.
Yeah. All right, man. All right, man. Go. It's 2026, man. It's fresh start, man. Fresh start. We're gonna get some guys. We got some guys in the portal. We get some guys in the portal. We'll get our freshmen in here. We got some young guys coming. Some guys are gonna develop. They're gonna be much better players than they were this year than last year. So we're gonna get ready to get us up for the 26th season, chum, to go on another run. We'll be back next year. We'll beat Michigan again. We'll win the Big Ten, and we get into the playoffs and make some noise from there, man. But yeah, let's close. I'm sorry. Follow us: YouTube, Spotify, Apple. Send us questions, comments. We continue to bring you guys Buckeye news as it come out. Obviously, since last year we made it to the championship, so it was really easy. But this year, we're going to be spending some time talking about what's going on in the playoffs, especially as we cheer on our Big Ten teams. They kind of go on and, make some noise here. Hopefully, get that championship so we can continue to walk around and say that we're the best conference in college football. Because I truly believe that's where things are at right now in the Big Ten. So, Chim, I'm going to end this out always with a nice OH.
Yo.
Go Bucks. Talk to you guys soon.